In any programming language, if you need to perform a repetitive task over some data, you would most likely use a loop. It's the same for Solidity. Let's think of a task. Say I have a bunch of data I want to store at the same time in my contract. One way would be forcing the front end to use a loop, keep making transactions, but that sounds absolutely terrible, which is why instead we use a loop. For this, let's define our task. I have a token and I want to give first 100 users who have called a function some of that token, like a promotional scheme. To simplify our work a bit, we won't worry about actually writing the code for a token and also the code to store the address of everyone who has called a particular function. We assume that to fulfill this task, we need to store a particular value in the first 100 indexes of a uint array. While you can do this exact thing with any loop, if we already know the range we are to iterate over, I'd personally use a for loop. The syntax for for loop is this. So in our case, let's define a function and inside it we do for uint I equals 0, I less than 100 and I++. And now in this loop, we just add 1 to each array element. Thing to note here is, while it seems easy to just iterate over arrays, it gets really expensive really quick. Ideally, you would want to do any given task in O of 1 time, that is in constant time, but loops for smaller ranges is fine too. Next, let's take a task where we know the condition till which we want to iterate, but it's not simply a range. What if we have an array containing 10 boolean variables and all except ones is false? This is a classic case of a linear search. Let's use while loop for this. Since we are not writing anything in our state variables, we can restrict our function to view. Syntax for while loop is this. Before the loop, we will define uint I equals 0 and then in the loop have the condition as not conditions of I. Basically, this means the loop runs as long as the ith element of the loop is not true. This is an ideal case, so you need not worry about it much. But in actual use cases, make sure that you aren't running an infinite loop or a loop that runs on a long range of data. Finally, we have do while loop. While loop checks the condition before entering the loop, whereas the do while loop enters the loop, completes one routine, then checks the condition, meaning your loop is going to run at least one time. This can be useful if you want to write something like a function that gives user a point and then generates a number, and if that number fulfills a certain criteria, it continues to give user another point, repeating the process, or if not, stop afterwards. This is a good time to talk about conditional statements. When you want something to happen, if a condition is fulfilled, you use an if statement. And if you want to define a series of conditions in a if not this then that kind of language, you use if and follow it with else if statement. And finally, a statement if all the above fails will come under an else condition. Thing to note here is that if condition can be written independently, whereas else if and else need to be paired with an if condition. We also have a couple of loop controls. To exit a loop at any point, you can use break keyword, usually inside a conditional statement, or if you want the loop to skip further execution of a code in this iteration, you can move to next iteration using the continue statement. Now, let's see all of this in action. Let's write a function that takes an array input and stores each value in a mapping but stops if it hits a particular value. In this function, we will take uint array as a parameter. Memory keyword defines the storage location for this data. We write a for loop and inside the for loop we put the test condition as the value of our variable should be less than the length of the array. To get the length of the input array, you can do arrayname.length. Next, we have an if condition to check for the value and match it with the required value. If it matches, we break the loop, otherwise it continues. We can deploy this on JavaScript VM and test it with Remix's UI. We enter an array with 5 values, with one of them being the value we specified. Now, we can see the values before the values have been stored in the mapping, but none of the values after it, including the particular one, are stored. Again, note that loops shouldn't be excessively used, and if you can replace your arrays with mapping, where you can search a value with a key, that should be preferred. That's it for this video, but there's more for you to watch. Check out the blockchain playlist to find more videos like this. or this video that YouTube recommends for you, and we'll see you next time.